The second leg of Champions League round of 16 action has come and gone, and it was some of the best football we've seen all season. From spectacular goals to incredible team play and everything in between, we got to see 8 teams qualify for the next round, with the other 8 sides bowing out from the competition. Today, we're taking a look back at the 8 matches from the second leg of the round of 16 action to see who stepped up when it mattered and who fell just short of the mark. This is what makes the Champions League so special, so let's see how it all played out. The first match of the day saw Barcelona take on Benfica, with the Spanish side holding a 1-0 lead on aggregate. It took just 11 minutes for Lamine Yamal to set up a gorgeous play for Rafinha, with the Brazilians tap-in giving Barcelona an early 1-0 lead. Benfica wasted no time getting a goal of their own, and with Otamendi's header from a set piece in the 13th minute, the game was now level at 1-1. The deadlock would be broken in the 26th minute with an absolutely stunning curling shot from Lamine Yamal from outside of the box, giving Barcelona a critical 2-1 lead. Barcelona's lightning-quick counterattack would lead to their third goal in the 42nd minute, with Rafinha's low-driven shot giving the Spanish side a 3-1 lead going into halftime. The second half would see chances go both ways, but neither side would be able to find the back of the net. With the full-time whistle being blown, Barcelona came away with a dominant 3-1 victory and a 4-1 win on aggregate. Moving over to Germany, Bayer Leverkusen hosted Bayern Munich, with the visiting side holding on to a solid 3-0 lead on aggregate. The first half did not see many chances go either way, and with the two sides stuck in a deadlock, the match went into halftime stuck at 0-0. The match would finally open up in the 52nd minute after a defensive error from Leverkusen led to a tap-in goal for Harry Kane, giving Bayern a deserving 1-0 lead. Bayern's next goal would come in the 71st minute after some beautiful build-up play would see Alphonso Davies slot home his shot, giving Bayern a commanding 2-0 lead. That would be the final goal in this match as Bayern advanced to the quarterfinals with a 5-0 aggregate win, while Leverkusen's run in the Champions League ends here. The next match of the day took place in Italy, with Inter Milan facing off against Feyenoord as they looked to defend their 2-0 lead on aggregate. The home side wasted no time getting their first goal, with Thuram's incredible solo run and finish finding the back of the net, giving Inter a 1-0 lead in the 8th minute. Feyenoord would be given a lifeline just before the break, and with Jakob Motter's clean penalty finish in the 42nd minute, the match went into halftime stuck at 1-1. The home side would get another goal in the 51st minute, with Çalhanoğlu's penalty finding the right corner, giving Inter a commanding 2-1 lead. That would be the final goal of the game as Inter come away with a dominant 4-1 victory in aggregate, while Feyenoord crash out of the competition. The final match of the first day would see Liverpool take on PSG as the English side looked to capitalize on their 1-0 lead on aggregate. It would be the French visitors who would open the scoring, with some beautiful team play being capped off by a goal for Dembele in the 12th minute, giving PSG a crucial 1-0 lead. Liverpool were finding it challenging to make the most of their 53% possession as the match went into halftime at 1-0 for the Parisian visitors. The second half was another deadlock that saw only 2 shots on target for Liverpool as the match would be forced to go into extra time after 90 minutes. Despite a few more solid chances, the extra frame would not be enough to separate the two sides as the match went to penalties. Lady Luck would not be on Liverpool's side, and with Nunez and Jones missing their respective penalties, PSG went on to win the shootout by a 4-1 scoreline. Liverpool bow out of the competition after a weak performance, while PSG win this tie on penalties. The first match of the second day would see Lille face off against Dortmund, with the two sides level at 1-1 on aggregate. The home side wasted no time getting on the board, with Jonathan David's shot finding the back of the net in the 5th minute, giving Lille an important 1-0 lead. Dortmund had multiple scoring chances in the first 45 minutes, but with some heroics from Lille's goalkeeper, the match went into halftime at 1-0 for the French side. The German visitors would finally convert their chance in the 54th minute, with Emre Can's smooth penalty hitting the back of the net, bringing the game level at 1-1. It only took 11 more minutes for Dortmund to find their second, with Maxi Bayer's thunder strike smashing into the top right corner, giving his side a 2-1 lead with 25 minutes to go. The French side fought until the final whistle, but they were unable to find the equalizing goal that they desperately needed. Dortmund come away from this match with a 2-1 victory and a 3-2 win on aggregate over Lille. The next match of the day would see Arsenal go up against PSV, with the English side holding on to a commanding 7-1 lead on aggregate. Arsenal would get their first goal in the 5th minute, with Zinchenko's brilliant curling effort finding the back of the net, giving Arsenal an early 1-0 lead. PSV would get the next goal in this match as Ivan Perisic slotted home his shot into the top right corner, bringing the game level at 1-1 in the 18th minute. Arsenal would respond in the 37th minute after Declan Rice's clinical header would find the back of the net, giving the English side a 2-1 lead going into halftime. The Dutch visitors would find the first goal of the second half, with Dreyek's beautiful chip shot beating David Raya and tying the game up at 2-2. That is how the match would end as Arsenal come away with a commanding 9-3 victory on aggregate. Staying in England, the next match would see Aston Villa and Club Brugge go head-to-head, with the English side holding on to a 3-1 lead on aggregate. The Belgian visitors would get off to a rough start as Saba's red card in the 17th minute would force them to play the rest of the match with just 10 men. Neither side could capitalize on the few chances that came their way as the match went into halftime stuck at 0-0. Aston Villa would break the deadlock in the 50th minute, with Asensio's calculated strike finding the back of the net, giving the home side a 1-0 lead. Their next goal would come just 7 minutes later, with Matsson's bouncing shot creeping past the line, giving Villa a commanding 2-0 lead. Villa simply couldn't stop scoring, and in the 62nd minute, Asensio's tap-in goal would give the English side a defining 3-0 lead. That would be the final goal in this contest as Aston Villa come away with a dominant 6-1 aggregate win over Club Brugge. And finally, the last match of the day would be the Madrid derby, with Real Madrid holding on to a 2-1 lead on aggregate over Atletico. The red and white side wasted literally no time getting the first goal, with Gallagher's finish coming just 27 seconds into the match, giving Atletico an early 1-0 lead. Atletico may have had just 38% possession, but with 3 shots on target and a .82 xG, they went into halftime with a 1-0 lead. Real Madrid would be given a lifeline in the 68th minute after Lenglet's challenge on Mbappe would lead to a penalty kick. However, Vinicius Jr.'s effort would go flying over the crossbar, and the match remained 1-0 until the 90th minute, meaning extra time was needed. The next 30 minutes were full of nail-biting action on both sides, but with no more goals, the match was headed to penalties. It would be Julian Alvarez's penalty kick that would be controversially called off due to a double touch, meaning Real Madrid had an early advantage in the shootout. With Lucas Vazquez and Marcus Llorente missing penalties of their own, Antonio Rudiger's final spot kick would win the match as Real Madrid come away with a 4-2 win on penalties. With the round of 16 coming to an end, let's see where the remaining 8 teams stand before the quarterfinals. Barcelona make light work of Benfica with a 4-1 victory on aggregate, and they will now face Borussia Dortmund after their 3-2 aggregate win over Lille. Bayern Munich dismantled Leverkusen with a 5-0 aggregate win, and they will now face a red-hot Inter Milan side in the next round after beating Feyenoord 4-1 on aggregate. PSG overcome the odds and beat Liverpool on penalties, setting up a tie with Aston Villa after their 6-1 aggregate win over Club Brugge. And finally, Arsenal's dominant 9-3 aggregate win over PSV sets up a quarterfinal matchup with Real Madrid after their win on penalties over Atletico. But what did you think of the final 8 matches in the round of 16 of the Champions League? What results shocked you the most, and which quarterfinal matchup are you most looking forward to? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more football content, tier lists, and everything in between, and as always, I'll catch you next time.